Ever thought that you might have too many apps? Well, if you do, this can cause major security issues. In today's digital world, there seems to be an app for everything, and the sheer amount of apps available can be quite overwhelming. Although having access to so many apps is beneficial, it can also lead to something called app fatigue. App fatigue is the overwhelming feeling you can get from having too many apps installed on a device, and the constant notification and updates that come with them. Most of the time, we tend to just mute all those notifications. However, sometimes we forget about them, and this is what leads to the security issues. As you slowly start muting notifications for the apps you have, you won't be notified about any crucial updates or security updates. Missing a security update on an app can be crucial because it leaves your device vulnerable to security threats and compromises your personal information. App developers release these updates in order to fix bugs and patch security vulnerabilities. If you're not installing these updates, the chance of being a victim to a cyber attack increases significantly. Another concern that comes from app fatigue is the reusing of passwords. Many of your apps might require a password in order to access it, and although this is a good thing, you can end up with, let's say, 40 plus apps that require login details. Now that's a lot of passwords to remember. And we all know what happens next. You start creating accounts that use identical passwords, so they're memorable. Using the same password for multiple accounts isn't good, because if hackers crack even just one of those accounts, they'll try the same password on all the others. This means they won't have access to just one app, but potentially all of them, and the personal information that is stored in each. So, how can you counter app fatigue? There's actually a few things you can do. The first and probably the best thing you can do is automate your updates. This takes the process out of your hands and automatically updates apps when needed. This also eliminates the need to check for what the update is about, which enhances productivity and saves time, as well as mitigating risks. Another thing you can do is streamline your applications. So by now, we've learned that the less apps you have, the easier it is to control them. What you can do is try and go through all your apps and uninstall any of the ones that aren't needed. For example, any old ones you don't use anymore, or if you're using 2 or more apps that pretty much serve the same purpose. One last thing to do is take a look at your notification settings. If you didn't already know, somewhere in your device's settings, you can choose which apps to have notifications turned on or off for. If you're on a work device, get your IT team or managers to go through and turn the unimportant ones off. This ensures you won't be overwhelmed from the notification spam. However, you'll still see all the important ones. Hopefully, this helps you counter your app fatigue. If you found this video useful, check out some of our other ones on our socials.